Czerny Op 849 number 6 features a variety of patterns based on stepwise motion, which means moving up or down in half and whole steps. Oftentimes with etudes like this, I would suggest that we address each pattern. The first one we see here is a 5-note scale. Once we understand the basic concept, what we will do is go through the entire piece and practice every time this specific pattern comes back. A supplemental practice you can add right from the beginning is a basic 5-finger exercise that includes a scale going up and down, a broken chord, a blocked chord, and you can add a cadential progression at the end. We will go through the circle of fifths, so the next key will be G. And then you can go to D. And etc. You can go through the entire circle of fifths that way. Now let's go to the piece. What we see is a one direction 5-note scale. That means we're either going down or up. There is no combination of both. Or, in our basic 5-finger exercise, what we would like to do is begin with a very slow movement. You do 2 counts per note, and then you do a very fast lift and strike. And then you stay still, then you do it again. So this is strengthening. This sound is very ugly, and it is okay. It's like when you go to the exercise room and you're doing weightlifting. So we're trying to build finger strength, and we're trying to build palm and wrist strength, so that when we do a powerful movement like that, we're not moving up and down our entire forearm. After that, we will do a gradual increase in speed. So as we cut the speed in half, then we can go only high finger but no striking. And then as we get faster and faster and faster, the goal is the wrist never moves. And we get closer to the keys as we get faster in speed. So let's think about the clock again. If we can imagine, when we descend, we begin at 3 at the pinky, and we trace the bottom half of your clock and get off on 9. Do you see the little dip in the wrist? When we go back up, we go from 9 counterclockwise to 3. So you can feel the freedom in the forearm and hear the sound go up and down. That's creating a sweep effect. You can have both of your hands do it at the same time. The next pattern I would like to discuss is the turn. In measure 4, we have D, E, F, E, D. Essentially, this is a combined ascending and descending 3-note scale. The only difference is we are not repeating the F. But just as driving, when we make a turn, we must acknowledge the change in direction. Here, what we will do is accent or move towards the high note. There's a little bit of a rotation or rocking. Your body can also help to move towards the top note. So you feel the rhythmic pulse. Later, as we're changing directions and starting from a high note going to a lower note, we're looking for the same acknowledgement, but now we're rocking to the left. Now, when the same pattern repeats over and over, what we can do is again shift in and out. That motion essentially takes over the rocking because you have no time to consistently moving towards the left. Going off of the same idea, let's take a look at measure 3 when we have a scale that begins on E, moves up to G, and then comes back. What I would recommend is begin right at the top and do the same turn. So we understand there's a little shift to the right. It's also a good idea to shift anyway because we're going at the upper registers. And so if we keep our body here, then it feels like you're reaching to the top and there's no support. So let's go back. Rock, stay here, and then as your hand descends, we come back to the center as well. When we have the scale that goes from B down and then back up, what we want to do is do the opposite. Move your body to the lower side and dip a little bit, stay here, and then push up. That way you can hear the dip correlated from the hand to the body instead of just having it occur at the hand. That sounds more like an accent than a sweep. Finally, when we have a combination of octaves and rotation in this passage, we're seeing a little glimpse of number 8. So what do we do in that case? What we can do is begin by just outlining the top and bottom note. So we work on rotation. And then we add the scale back, but we stop at the first note of the next pattern. And then we can combine 2 scales. That way we can continue to build the rotation within the scale. So again, we're not doing these little hops as we move back up the register. Let's talk about left hand support. We have seen this type of texture in many etudes prior to number 6. What we do is rotate to the pinky so we can bring it out. Start from the key and go directly down. Don't lift before the chord and move into the key because you will create the same color as your bass. And it will be louder, so it will be very hard to hear that as a secondary voice. You see, even if the chord itself is a little bit louder, it doesn't have the same color as your bass. So you're still able to tell that there are 2 voices going on instead of a combination of 1. Finally, let's talk about body movement. We mentioned earlier that as we shift to the upper registers, we need to move our body over so we're always centered. We have also talked about when the line dips, we want to move downwards so we can help the shape come through more clearly. Now, if you want to play louder, you can also move forward so you add a little bit more body weight or mass. Let's try the beginning. I will stay back to allow a sweep motion. If I press in too much, I'm going to compress my distance. So the sound sounds forced instead of me being relaxed and allowing it to move more freely. When I would like a crescendo in the next measure, I can move with my line, stay with my line, and then relax. So the curve is very natural and there's no forced dynamics. I'm simply moving with the contour. I hope you enjoy this etude.